Okay, so this is a video I've wanted to make for a pretty long time, ever since I started collecting Blu-rays. Um, so I'm just making a unedited, mostly, video of all my Blu-rays, and if you can tell, they're all back there. So, yeah, I don't know how this is gonna pan out, so, I'm just gonna grab the first thing. It's actually like a box, so I'm just gonna grab that because it's actually being used as a weight. So let's just get started. Ah! Almost dropped it. Almost. We're good. I almost dropped it. Keyword being, uh, almost. Okay, the first thing we have here is probably one of my most prized possessions, because Stanley Kubrick is one of my top three, most likely top two, maybe even favorite director. I don't rank directors because, I mean, they all make different movies, so you know. Anyway, so this is the Kubrick Masterpiece Collection. It's got all of his movies that he made after Lolita, which I'm kind of bitter about because I wish that this collection contained Paths of Glory, or maybe even The Killing. Hell, Spartacus probably would have been a better choice than Lolita. But yeah, it's really cool. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. It's hold on, let me just open it here. It's got this like book. It's got this book that contains images and notes from productions of his movies. I think that's from The Shining. There's some other stuff back here. Yeah, this is something from Barry Lyndon, which is my favorite Kubrick. I don't really have much else to show. It comes with this little, like, hold on, where it keeps all the Blu-rays is in this little, like, box, this thing right here. And I could just throw this box out and just keep this, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. This is a really cool box. It's got a great design. It's honestly just a cool box that I don't want to get rid of, so I don't see why I would get rid of it. It's a very cool collector's piece. If you love Kubrick, anyone who watches my videos, if you love Kubrick or love collecting film memorabilia, then definitely maybe cop yourself this. It's expensive, but it was like $120 on Amazon, because it was on sale, and I got it, and I feel great about it. It's an awesome piece of collection, so yeah. Now I'm gonna go back over there and grab a stack of Blu-rays, so see you in a second. Alrighty, I got the stack right here. So, starting, we have 2001: A Space Odyssey, the 4K edition. Now, I obviously have a Blu-ray of 2001 because it comes with the Kubrick collection, but I actually got this before I got the Kubrick collection. Same thing with another Kubrick movie that we'll get into in a minute that's in this stack. I love this movie. It's one of my top 5 favorites. In 4K, it looks fucking mind-blowing. It's really the only way to watch 2001 is to watch it in the best quality you can. So if you're watching it like on your phone, and I'm not against watching movies on your phone. I've watched movies on my phone. There's nothing wrong with watching movies on your phone. But don't watch 2001 on your phone and say that you've seen it, because you need to experience it in like either a theater or with a great setup. You can't just watch it on a flight and be like, yeah, I watched 2001, because I knew someone who did that, and I just laughed, because you can't watch 2001 on a plane. So I bought this edition. It's awesome. It's got tons of these pictures. I won't show all of them because we've got a stack here and I want to get through them. Comes with this book, which I actually haven't gone through. I wonder, yeah, it's all just pictures. All pictures. They're all great pictures. Yeah, great sci-fi. Kubrick was a genius. I will stand by that till the day that I inevitably pass away. Anyway, don't really want to dwell on this for too long. Great movie. Definitely check it out. 12 Angry Men, Criterion. One of the best written movies ever made. It's probably one of, if not my favorite movie for dialogue. It's just so intense, even though it's one of those one room real-time movies, it's as long, the story takes place as long as the movie is. So how long is this movie? Like an hour and 40 minutes? No, barely over an hour and a half. And basically the entire story is an hour and a half long, and it all takes place in one room. It's about 12 guys who are on a jury trying to figure out if this person is guilty for something they possibly did or didn't do. And it's very intense, very entertaining, very well shot, very claustrophobic. A great fucking movie, one of my favorites. You're going to be hearing that a lot. One of my favorites, one of my favorites. This is probably in the top 15. It's a great Criterion movie. If you haven't seen it, then what the hell are you doing? If you're a fan of writing, if you like writing, or like reading good writing, fucking, you know what I'm trying to say. If you like movies that have, or stories with good writing, then watch this. I promise you won't regret it. I'll need to be careful because of the lighting. Just watch it. It's amazing. Akira, one of my favorite animes, and I'm not that huge a fan of anime. I just want to make that clear because I think anime is incredibly cheesy and very, you know, the stereotypes with anime. I basically feel the same way. Anyway, very fucking awesome story. It's very entertaining. It's got some great set pieces, entertaining action scenes. The main character is really fun to watch. The villain is really cool. It's honestly just a really cool story that took a lot of inspiration from stuff like Blade Runner. Great freaking movie. I don't really have anything to say about it. It's, for the 80s, it's very well animated. I gotta say, I was very impressed. Andrei Rublev by Andrei Tarkovsky. I am a huge fan of this guy's works. Andrei Tarkovsky. And this movie is probably my second favorite from him. I've seen 3 of his films. One of them is Stalker, which is over there. I own that too. And Solaris, which I don't own. And I wasn't the biggest fan of. I liked it, but I'm not really sure if I'm on the love train. This movie, however, is like an overlooked masterpiece of his. It's long. It's very long. It's 183 minutes. It's long, but it is awesome. It is well, hold on. Is it really that? I thought it was longer than that. 183 minutes. I actually thought it was longer. Aren't there 2 editions? Yeah, there's like I think this comes with the theatrical and the extended edition. Yeah. Don't really have much to say here. You'll also be hearing that a lot. It comes with a poster, which is kind of huge. So there you go. Not much to say. Great friggin' movie. It's long, but it never felt boring to me. It's one of the best biopics out there, and if you love cinematography and atmosphere, then you'll love Andrei Rublev. That actually just came like a couple days ago, so yeah. Apocalypse Now, 4K, or Ultra HD. This is basically all of Apocalypse Now, meaning that it comes with all the editions and the documentary, which is really cool. I'm glad this comes with the documentary. Because the documentary, I have not seen it, but I cannot wait to check it out. I've seen the theatrical version and the final cut. I have not seen the Redux, though I've heard that that's like the worst version, so I'm not really in a hurry to check it out. This is one of my favorite Vietnam movies. It's one of my favorite movies, top 100 easy. It's very well done. Martin Sheen, fantastic job. Again, don't really want to I don't really want to talk about it too much because we got a bunch of stuff to get through here. So yeah. Fucking amazing movie. The Apu trilogy by oh my god, what's his name? Satyajit Ray, I think is how you pronounce his name. Satyajit Ray? Yeah, that's how you pronounce his name, I believe. Now this is a trilogy about a boy named Apu, and it's basically his life. Not his entire life, I don't think. I don't think it covers when he's an old man or something, but it covers when he's a child, and it covers when he's like a college kid, and then when he's an adult. And I've only seen one of them. It's a trilogy, and I've only seen one of them. I saw Pather Panchali, which stands for Song of the Little Road. Come on, focus. Okay, thank you. Song of the Little Road. And I loved it. It was awesome. It was a really awesome movie. I cannot wait to check out the rest of it. And I just knew from just that one movie that I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna love this entire trilogy. So I'm not gonna dick around and wait until I watch the other 3 movies to buy it. I'm just gonna buy it so I have the Blu-ray anyway. And we have another Kubrick that I own that is in that collection, Barry Lyndon, Criterion. Now, I am never gonna get rid of this. If I were to get rid of all my Blu-rays except for one, I would keep this one. And the reason why is because it's a Criterion movie, number 1. Number 2, it's one of my favorite all-time movies. Number 3, I believe. It's in the top 5. It's my favorite Kubrick movie. And probably the most important reason is this is the first Blu-ray I ever bought for myself. So, for this collection. It's just got so much value to me, and I'm never gonna get rid of it. I love it so much. It comes with this amazing book that I haven't gone through. All the Criterions come with something to read that I really want to go through, and I have not yet. I'll go through some of them eventually. I guarantee you by the next Blu-ray collection video, in like a long time from now, that I will have read some of the stuff that comes with the Criterion Blu-rays. Anyway, fantastic cinematography. It's an amazing story. It's slow, but not really like deathly slow. It's honestly surprisingly fast paced. In the first half, I think the second half is when the time starts to really dawn on you. But again, it's never boring to me. I loved it very much. Definitely check it out if you love great stories. Speaking of great stories, Barton Fink. I just got this not too long ago. Why does it feel like... That's weird. It always feels like the disc isn't always in it because it doesn't make that sound. So, I was kind of scared that I may have misplaced the disc, but it's there. It's right here. I wish the disc were more personalized, though. I'm kind of disappointed by what the disc looks like. I wish it had more of like a personality, like the poster, which is great. It's the Coen brothers' overlooked masterpiece. I will defend this movie to the death. I've seen it twice. I've loved it each time. It's my second favorite Coen brothers movie. I'm so glad that I have some people to back me up. I had my brother watch it recently, and he loved it. Some buddies of mine over at the Misfit Pond saw it. Definitely check out their channel. We even talked about it for a while. It's a great frickin' movie. I'm sad that my grandmother and my father and my mother don't like it, but my grandfather really likes it. So yeah, it's kind of like that splitter. I would love to talk about this more in detail on this channel in the future. There's a lot to get into. I don't know how I'll do that, but I'll do that eventually. God, we're already like how many minutes in and we haven't even gotten into the bees yet? My God. Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Just Birdman. Just call it Birdman. It's a movie by Alejandro González Iñárritu. I want to pronounce that right because I respect the man too much to not pronounce it right. He makes amazing movies. Every single one of his movies is great. I've seen all except for one, I believe. And that movie is called... Oh God, it's called Beautiful? Beautiful? I think is what it's called. Yeah, that's what it's called. Beautiful. I have not seen that one yet. I've seen every other movie by him, and I only own one other movie by him, which is, you guys will see it, eventually. I don't want to just spoil it. Phenomenal movie. Greatest performance by Michael Keaton. Greatest performance by probably Edward Norton. I haven't seen him much better. He wasn't as good in Fight Club, or I wasn't as, entertained by him in Fight Club. He wasn't, I think this is his best movie, maybe, Norton-wise. And Keaton, definitely his best movie. I loved it more on a second watch. If you're going to watch this, watch it twice, because there's a lot that you'll miss. It's also one of those one-shot movies. Very awesome story. Yeah, don't really have much else to say. I want to watch it again very soon. Oh boy. Come and See. One of the most brutal movies I have ever seen. This movie will fuck you up. It's an amazing movie. It's one of my favorites. I have it as a 10 out of 10, and I'm never going to change that. It's a movie about what war does to the mind of a child. Now, that's harsh, but I want to get it clear that a brutal, no sugarcoat, basically into the mouth of hell itself kind of movie is the only way to tell this kind of story. If I felt in any way good about how about myself after watching this movie, if I didn't feel queasy and weird and gross like I did after seeing this movie, then it's not a good movie. Anti-war should not be sugarcoated, and any war movie or anti-war movie that like spares the details and kind of sugarcoats it is a bad movie, or just a dishonest movie. Probably not a bad movie, but dishonest. I don't like dishonest war films. They're fucking terrible. And this movie is the opposite of dishonest. It is very brutal. They used actual live rounds for some of the scenes. There's brutality everywhere. It's a dark movie. I did go into it a little overhyping the darkness. I didn't expect to be, I expected it to be dark, but it wasn't as dark as I built it up. But it's pretty dark. It's really dark. It's Russian, and it basically takes place during the Belarusian invasion. I think it's how you pronounce it? Belarusia? I really am not entirely sure how to pronounce it. Belarusian? I don't know. Yeah. This actually just recently got a Criterion, like not even no more than like a month ago. So I bought it as soon as it came out. Amazing movie. One of my favorite, probably my favorite anti-war film. The Cornetto trilogy. The World's End, Hot Fuzz, and Shaun of the Dead. Hot Fuzz is my favorite. Shaun of the Dead is probably my second favorite, though I have only seen The World's End once, so that might change. I'm not sure. Yeah, it comes with all the movies. They're all here. Except for Hot Fuzz, which I actually have. I own Hot Fuzz. It's over there in the stack. It's in a different case. Because the case I bought, the case I bought didn't come with the Blu-ray, but came with the DVD for some reason. So I was like, oh, I'll just buy the Cornetto trilogy, and, that worked out. Great comedy. It's Edgar Wright's best works. Maybe, okay, no, minus Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim. Those two movies are better than some of the Cornetto movies. But Hot Fuzz is my favorite Edgar Wright movie. If you want to see great action that satirizes action but ends up being better than most action movies, check out Hot Fuzz. It will have you entertained from start to finish. Next one. The Darjeeling Limited by Wes Anderson. I only saw this movie maybe a month and a half ago, and the Criterion is having a huge sale right now. Everything is half off from Barnes & Noble, so I took advantage and just bought this because I knew I was going to eventually, so I was like, fuck it, I'll buy it. Great Wes Anderson. It's one of the better Wes Andersons. I'm kind of surprised by how good it was. I knew I was going to like it, but I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Adrian Brody, Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman all do fantastic jobs. It's a great spiritual kind of journey rather than like a regular Wes Anderson movie. I enjoyed it more than Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, which is good, but I think The Darjeeling Limited is better. We haven't gotten to my favorite Wes Anderson, though. Speaking of Wes Anderson, Fantastic Mr. Fox, my second favorite Wes Anderson movie. There is a Criterion of this, but I don't own it yet. But I will by the next time we have a Blu-ray Collection video. Because if it has a Criterion, I want the Criterion. And this has a Criterion, so I'm going to buy that version eventually, but not anytime soon, because I already own this. This is a great animated film. I love it to death. It's just an incredibly entertaining story. It's not even really that long. How long is it? Like 80 minutes? 80-something minutes? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But George Clooney, Meryl Streep, and Bill Murray, Jason Schwartzman again, Owen Wilson again, all great stuff. Yeah. I have a friend who actually is kind of like frightened by the animation, apparently. I am so curious to see what that's like in action. But I can kind of understand some of them look really weird, but you know, everyone's got their own little quirks, preferences. I don't know. Fargo by the Coen brothers. Probably my third favorite Coen brothers movie. Yeah, I didn't like it as much as Barton Fink or No Country for Old Men, which No Country for Old Men I do not own yet, but it's in the mail. I ordered it the other day, and it's supposed to be here sometime soon, but who knows? Yeah, great Steelbook edition. I'm glad I bought this version because it's got a really cool cover, and Buscemi's on the back. Probably Buscemi's best performance in my opinion. I'm not sure. I'll need to. I don't know. Mr. Pank is pretty cool too. It's a hard decision, but great story. William H. Macy and Frances McDormand both do amazing jobs. Peter Stormare is one of the creepiest motherfuckers ever. Great stuff. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, a Terry Gilliam film that I saw once. Not once. Sorry, I've seen it 3 times. I saw it once on a bus on the way to this thing that I had for band, and I remember liking it, but I wasn't exactly in love with it. Then I saw it again, and I loved it more, and then I saw it for a 3rd time, and I was like, okay, this is one of my favorites. This is one of my top 15 favorites. It's gross, it's repulsive, but it's so fucking fun to watch. If you're someone who has experience with drugs, particularly acid or shrooms or weed or cocaine, or I don't think they do. I can't remember if they do heroin or not. But anyway, this movie is fucking bonkers. It is insane. And yeah. And why I love Criterion can be perfectly summarized right here. They used like a typewriter font because, you know, the story is about Hunter S. Thompson, who's a writer. And that's the kind of dedication that I like about Criterion. They go all the way with their Blu-rays. So, yeah. I don't have much to say. Except watch it if you haven't. It's an interpretable film, but it's very entertaining, very fucked up, but very entertaining. Done with this stack. Gonna go grab another one. That took 20 minutes. So we're gonna be here for a little while. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, right back where we left off. The Grand Budapest Hotel. This is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. It's energetic, it's colorful, it's a beautiful movie. It's got a great score by Alexandre Desplat, I believe is his name. Yeah. It comes with this little thing, romantic poetry, oh boy. One of the first things is like a little poem that one of the main characters wrote. For my dearest, darling, treasured, cherished Agatha, whom I worship with respect, adoration, admiration, kisses, best wishes, and love from Z to A. Aww. Because, Zero is the name of the main character. It comes with this thing. I have not read it. And it comes with a poster, but the poster is literally just, two-sided. One of it comes with this side, and the other comes with this side. So, you know. Alright. Yeah, it's my favorite Wes Anderson movie because it's I'm not entirely sure if it's the most exhilarating. This movie's a little longer than Fantastic Mr. Fox, but it's got Ralph Fiennes in his best role. It's got Adrian Brody in probably his second best role. Cannot forget The Pianist, which I do not own, but I really want to own because it's a great movie. Yeah, it's beautiful. Just check it out if you haven't. I feel bad for the people who haven't checked this out. Okay, here we go. Hot Fuzz, the Steelcase edition. I don't know why this didn't come with the Blu-ray. I mean, it has it now. Like, there's the Blu-ray, there's the DVD. But it only came with the DVD, which weirded me out, because Fargo came with the Blu-ray. So, why did Hot Fuzz not come with the Blu-ray? Who knows? Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's, again, I already talked about it. It's my favorite Edgar Wright movie, one of my favorite comedies, one of my favorite action movies. Great stuff. Don't want to dwell on that for too long. House, or Housu, by how do you pronounce his name? Oh God. Nobuhiko Obayashi. There we go. He actually died recently, like not less than a year ago. And that sucks. So I watched it once, loved it. I actually blind bought this movie, meaning that I just bought it without even seeing it. I blind bought there's another criterion that I blind bought. I blind bought 2 that day. One of them I loved, and the other one we'll get to. So fucking entertaining. It's balls to the wall insane Japanese 1970s horror. It's so crazy. It's like, I'm not even kidding. It wouldn't be weird to call this movie the birthplace of memes. I'm not kidding. There's like this meow mix of a piano song, like every piano note is like a meow in that key. There are some spooky, scary skeletons dancing around to a song. There's like a floating Cheshire cat person thing. Just, there's a cat. There are cats. That's all I got to say. Probably the second time that I felt weirded out by cats. I think we all know what we're talking about. I love this movie. It's so entertaining. Check it out if you haven't. I know it's like 1970s Japanese foreign film, but it's so fun. It's so fun. It's so charming. It's wonderful. It's an amazing movie. It's great. Check it out. Jodorowsky's Dune. Back in the 70s, the acclaimed spiritualistic director Alejandro Jodorowsky, there he is, right there. That's him. That's him more recently. I probably should have showed you that one instead. Oh, come on, focus. Thank you. Anyway, he tried to make Dune, but the only reason it didn't work is because he couldn't get financing to get it off the ground. So this documentary is going over the process of getting everybody together to work on it, getting the actors, the set designers, the guys who work on the music, and of course Jodorowsky. And he basically just tells the story of how everything was going so well, but then went so wrong. And Jodorowsky is an incredibly entertaining person to watch. Even though he's like 90 something years old, he's explosive. He's very like, oh my God, it's hard to describe the man. It's hard. You just kind of have to watch a clip. Watch a little clip of like an interview he did or something. Just look something up and you'll see why he's just so fun to watch. He's almost a caricature of himself. Anyway, this documentary is amazing. I've seen it once. I cannot wait to see it again. It's a great movie. I've seen some of Jodorowsky's other movies, The Holy Mountain and Dance of Reality and Endless Poetry are the 3 movies that I've seen from him. The Holy Mountain is my favorite. They're all great. I don't want to talk about those because we still got stuff to get through. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This was my favorite movie for a very long time. Like when I started really getting into movies, this was my favorite. I was just so blown away by how awesome this movie was. It's dark. It's brutal. It's got a great villain in Barry Kagan. It's honestly one of the more disturbing movies that I've seen. It's Yorgos Lanthimos. He directed The Lobster and The Favorite, which are all great. I love this movie. What was I gonna say about? Oh yeah. It then like became my lesser. It's still in my top 10. It's still one of my top 10 favorites, but it's like number 6, I believe. I don't know. No. Yes. No, it's number 5. Whatever. Doesn't matter. All right. Lawrence of Arabia by David Lean. This is an awesome war movie. It is a film and a half. This movie is 3.5 hours long. Actually, more than that. It's 3 hours and 40 something minutes long. It is a trek. but it is awesome. The first act is like perfection. Now, when I first saw this movie, I just got off like a late shift. I came home at like midnight, and the apartment was empty. My mother was on a trip, and my brother was staying at my dad's. So I was basically just sitting on the couch wondering, cool, what the fuck do I do? Because I'm not tired. I just got off a shift, and I'm not usually tired after shifts because I just spent a while working. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll go look around, see what to watch. And then I came across Lawrence of Arabia. And I was like, oh god, I'm not going to watch this tonight. But then it kept like calling to me. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll watch it. So I literally sat through the entire first half. I got to the intermission, which was like an hour and 40 minutes. And I was like, okay, I'm tired. I got to go to bed, and I'm going to wake up and watch the rest of this in the morning. And that's exactly what happened. I literally woke up, grabbed breakfast, and watched the rest of the movie in my bed. So that was awesome. A great way to experience the movie, I guess. Also, I watched it with my dad and my brother recently. They love it. I'm so glad. Amazing movie. Le Samurai. The other blind bot Criterion. And if I knew what I was getting into, I wouldn't have bought it, because this movie was kind of disappointing. It was on my watch list. I didn't buy it because I was like, oh, cool, it's got a cool name. I actually was like, all right, this has been on my watch list for a while. It looks really cool. I'll check it out. It's 60s French noir cinema. It's gotta be cool. Kinda. There were some scenes that I liked. There's like this cool chase scene. The main character's cool, but the rest of the movie is just uninvesting. I wasn't into it that much. There's some great stuff in it, like the music and the chase scene and some of the action stuff. Like, some of it is really good, but the rest of it is just... I never felt attached to it. So, I rated it a 6, and I don't like owning all my 6 out of 10s. The only 6 out of 10s I would ever own is if they have, like, a profound effect on me, like a childhood movie or something. So, eventually I'll probably sell this. I can probably sell it for, like, $10 or something, I don't know. I don't want to be one of those people that sells it back for as much as it was. It was only open once. I don't know. Not an amazing movie. Like Someone in Love by Abbas Kiarostami, I believe is how you pronounce his name. A great love story. Well, not love story, but romance story. Romantic film, I guess. It's not really a love story. It takes place over 24 hours. It takes the course of a day, because it's not entirely 24 hours, I believe. It's the story about this call girl who's hired by this man, but not for sex. She's hired for just a companion. He's a widower. He just wants someone to talk to for a little while. And it's honestly a beautiful film. It's a slow movie, even though it's less than 2 hours, it's pretty slow. And I can see a lot of people that I know really not liking this movie. But I was into it. I loved it. It was beautiful. The characters are great. The performances are great. The way the director films conversations is great. I will admit the movie doesn't have enough arcs to justify being recommended with a stamp of like, yes, as soon as you can, but it's just a beautiful, lovely movie. I enjoyed it very much. I have it rated as a 7, but I'm probably going to change it to an 8. Very excited to check out the rest of this guy's stuff. I find it funny because he passed away. He was Iranian, but he made a Japanese film. This is clearly a Japanese film. It was made in Japan, Japanese actors. It's a Japanese film. But he also made another film that was spoken in like English, Italian, and French. I mean, the dude has traveled. Yeah, great movie. The Lighthouse, my favorite movie of 2019. A very dark, very mythical tale of two men who are trying their best not to bone each other. That's not really the story, but it's the story about two men tending a lighthouse, and they start going insane. A lot of it's very hallucinogenic. You don't know what is real and what's not. And it's like, it's really trying to get you into the heads of these characters and have you feel what they're feeling. So many great scenes, so much great music, so many great shots. I can recite entire scenes by memory. I saw this movie 4 times in theaters. It was awesome. I loved every second of it. Pattinson does his best job. Defoe, I think, does his best job. It just so awesome, and I cannot wait to show it to more people because it just was awesome. Yeah. Naked Lunch by David Cronenberg. One of his later movies. Well, not later. Well, yeah, kind of later. He made it after Scanners. He made it after The Fly. He made it after The Brood and Videodrome. He made it after his big, giant heyday. You know, when in the 80s, when he was like every weird person's favorite director. I'm not a huge lover of Cronenberg. I don't think, I didn't like Scanners. I thought The Fly was kind of cool. I liked Videodrome. There are these 2 movies that he made with Robert Pattinson that weren't good at all. Oh my god, what were they called? I can't even remember what. Cosmopolis and Maps to the Stars, I believe, were their names. So fucking boring. Anyway, I'm not a huge fan of him, but this is my favorite movie from him. Very well done. Very great. A great story. It's it's an autobiographical story of the writer of the original book of Naked Lunch, who's named William Burroughs. And I recommend that you look up a bit about William Burroughs before checking this out, because once you understand who the guy or what the guy kind of who he is, you don't need to like understand everything, but like once you sort of get an idea of who he is, this is a much easier watch. It's also a great allegory into drug abuse and drug use. Great Cronenberg stuff, a lot of gross bug scenes that I love. Very cool movie. Great set design. Yeah, check it out. What is this? Oh! Once Upon a Time in Anatolia by Nuri Bilge Ceylan, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Turkish director, Turkish film. It's a story about criminals who are captured by the police, and they basically go out into the Turkish countryside in the dead of night to try and find a body that they buried when they were drunk, I believe. And that's like the first half. The second half is like the aftermath after everything happens. It's a crime story, but it's not like a fast-paced thriller. It's a slow movie, very slow, but it is atmosphere perfected. Cinematography, sound design, perfect. The way they use thunder is amazing. The first half is honestly, I was so fucking captivated. And that was this was my first film by this guy. I saw another one called Winter Sleep, which wasn't as amazing, but also pretty great. I love this movie. Check it out if you want to see a great slow film. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino, one of the best of 2019. I love how patient this is compared to the other Tarantino movies. DiCaprio gives one of his best performances. I loved Brad Pitt. Very entertaining movie despite being... It's like 2.5 hours, but it's so fun to watch. I've seen it a lot. I've seen it like 5 times now. Mainly because my dad loves it. My dad loves it, and I've kind of come to the understanding and sort of accepted that I'll be seeing it once every, like, at least 5 times every year, because he loves it. Yeah, very entertaining story. There's this little lull that gets a little boring, but it's mostly amazing. Easy 9 out of 10. Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro. My god, do I have a history with this movie. My parents tried to get me to watch this movie. Like, when I was 12 or 13, they were constantly telling me that I needed to check out this movie. And every time, I just didn't do it. And if I had a time machine, I'd go back, give myself a tender slap on the back of the head and say, get your head out of your ass and watch the movie. Do it. It's amazing. Probably my favorite fantasy movie. No joke. It's a great Criterion. I have not read the little thing it comes with, but it's got this like nice little... Yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. It's a movie that everyone should watch, especially if you like fantasy. Very dark. But it's also kind of wondrous in a way. Hard to describe. Speaking of fantasy, Princess Mononoke, the collector's edition. Awesome, awesome anime. My favorite anime. Showed it to my dad recently. He loved it. I'm glad he did. It's a very awesome story. The disc comes in this thing. Yeah. It also comes with the soundtrack, which I would love to listen to in its entirety. Yeah. Just an awesome story. Great main characters. If you love fantasy, then check it out. The animation is stunning. It's a stunning movie. Do not miss out on it. That's it for this stack, so I'll just grab a few more. I think we got, you know what? I think we're on to our last stack. So we got 3 stacks, so this is about, I guess an hour long? I don't know. We'll get to that. Yeah, I'll be back in a second. Oh, here we are, the last stack. Let's get started. Ran, or Ran, I don't know. By Akira Kurosawa, my favorite Japanese director. That's very specific, I know. But, he's one of the best directors to ever have lived. He makes amazing movies. Ran is one of them, or Ran. It was the first Kurosawa movie that I saw. It's colorful, it's beautiful, it's got amazing battle scenes, it's dark, it's a story about greed and betrayal. It's an awesome story. It's long and kind of slow, but it's actually not that slow. There are like 2 or 3 scenes that are slow, but it's mostly very entertaining. Yeah, check it out. The Revenant by Alejandro González Iñárritu. This is my favorite film from him. One of the best survival / revenge stories I've ever seen. Awesome movie. DiCaprio does an amazing job. Tom Hardy does an amazing job. There are a lot of great long takes, especially even during action scenes. Watch the first maybe 10 minutes, and you'll understand why I love this movie so much. Just amazing filmmaking. Iñárritu clearly cared so much about this movie. Yeah. Now, before I move on, you guys are probably wondering why I don't have my favorite movie, Oldboy. And the reason why is because I cannot find a separate Blu-ray for it. I would have to buy the Vengeance Trilogy. Now, that's not a terrible thing, but the Vengeance Trilogy, the other 2 movies in the Vengeance Trilogy, are not movies that I would probably buy on their own. I like them. I think they're alright. I think they're well made, but I'm not entirely sure that I love them enough to buy them. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance was fun. I think the first half was kind of uninvesting, but then the second half was really cool. Lady Vengeance was pretty cool. They're pretty cool, but they're not cool enough to buy, for me at least. Oldboy, however, I would buy in a millisecond if I could literally go on my computer right now, find a separate Blu-ray that I can buy, I would do it like that. Easy. But can't. I would have to buy the Vengeance Trilogy. But I guarantee you by the next Blu-ray Collection video, I'll own Oldboy. Yeah. Just wanted to get that out of the way because you might be asking. Rope by Alfred Hitchcock. This is the first movie this is the second movie that I saw from Hitchcock. I do not own Psycho, which is my favorite Hitchcock. I would love to own it soon, though. A lot of great... This is probably the first movie that tried the done in one shot aspect. Now, there are obvious cuts, but the reason why is because they couldn't... because back then in the late 40s, film could not be used for more than 10 minutes, I believe. So every 9.5 minutes, there's this obvious cut where they zoom in on someone's back or shoulder or a table, and they do the cut there, obviously. So it's obvious, but it's still amazing, and I forgive, and I'm not critical of that. I'm just letting you know. James Stewart in one of his best roles. It is just so entertaining. The dialogue is great. It's based on a great play that I have not seen but would like to see, I guess. Yeah. Awesome movie. Seven by David Fincher, director of Zodiac and The Social Network, both of which I own, so we'll get to those in a minute. This is probably like my split down the middle. I'm not sure if I like this or The Social Network more, because Zodiac is my favorite. This is a dark fucking movie. It's brutal. It's got a great Brad Pitt performance. Anyway, great movie. Yeah, don't have much to say. Oh, hell yeah. Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa. My favorite Kurosawa movie. And probably my favorite, or at least one of my favorite. Oh, no, I would call it my favorite Criterion package. Yeah, it's awesome. It's got this great front. It comes with this awesome book. There's this also a great image here. Toshiro Mifune. Great performance by that guy. God, I love him. I love him in almost everything he's in. I'm going to read this eventually. I would love to read this. I would love to read what went into making this movie. It's just one of those movies that everyone should watch sometime. Without Seven Samurai, we would probably not have all these other great movies like Star Wars or Indiana Jones, or, you know, it's just, without Kurosawa, we would not have a lot of the modern groundbreaking films of today. Yeah, definitely check it out. Also, fun fact, this is the second movie to get a Criterion. Come on, focus. 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 Please. Please. Oh my god, are you stupid? Do I need to be out of the way? Yeah, I guess you can kind of see that. Yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah, second Criterion ever added to the collection. And it's one of my favorite movies. Top 30, top 35. No, top 30. The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman. An amazing Swedish film. Awesome story. It's a story about a knight who's back from who fought in the Crusades, and he's confronting death. And basically, the movie is a great allegory about death and the sort of the end of the world. There are a lot of great aspects surrounding death tackled in this movie. Max von Sydow does an amazing performance. The guy who plays Death was also really cool. It's honestly, I also find it kind of funny that this is known as one of those movies that every like religious nuts love and atheists love, so that's honestly cool. Funny too. Yeah, late 50s, very effective. I've seen it twice. Can't wait to see it again. No, I've only seen it once. I've seen it 1.5 times. Because the first time I tried to watch it, I got through like the first 40 minutes. Didn't get bored. I was tired. And I was also at family, and not at I think I was at my grandparents' house. So I was like, alright, I'll watch the rest tomorrow. Didn't end up watching the rest of it. And then I found it online around maybe half a year later and was like, alright, I'll watch it. And loved it. It's one of my favorites. Top 100. The Social Network. Well, title's not here. Hold on. The Social Network. With Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield. This is a much better poster. It also comes with this on the back, which is really cool. Yeah, despite it's not a violent movie like a Seven, or it's not a brutal movie like Seven. It's not like a serial killer based movie like Zodiac. It's simply an interesting story about the rise and about the birth of Facebook. And yeah, it's got some of the best dialogue that I've seen in a lot of movies. Aaron Sorkin did an amazing job. David Fincher did a great job directing. Yeah. Son of Saul by Laszlo Nemes. Lajlo? No, not Lajlo. Hold on. He's a Polish man, I believe. Or is he Austrian? No, he's Polish. Yeah, he's Polish. My favorite Holocaust movie. It It was inspired by movies like Come and See. It's brutal. It's got a real sense of presence. It's filmed in this claustrophobic aspect ratio. The camera almost always focuses on the main character. Lot of great long takes. There's like a great 7-minute long take in the beginning of the movie that's awesome, or something like that. Yeah, a great movie. Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky. This is my favorite Tarkovsky movie. It's one of my top 10 favorites. I've seen it 4 times. It's slow as hell. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. I know that there are people out there that really don't like it. I know that there are people out there that are kind of confused by those who call it a masterpiece. I call it a masterpiece because it's just so visually stunning. Beautiful cinematography, great sense of atmosphere. The locations they filmed were awesome. Just a great freaking movie. I loved every minute of it. It's slow, but I never felt bored. And I would love to see it again very soon. I haven't seen it in a solid few months. And I would love to watch it again soon. Yeah. The Sword of Doom. A movie that I also blind bought from Criterion. And kind of am regretting it. Which sucks, because this movie is honestly, it's got great stuff. Like, Tatsuya Nakadai does a great job performing. The movie itself has a great story. It's a story about a samurai who's like gone completely insane and is like killing people for no reason. It's a great concept, great character study like film. It's got great fight scenes. There's this awesome like little one take of a cool fight scene. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but there's like this pointless subplot that happens that gets boring after a while. It has a terrible ending. A terrible ending. So yeah, I'm probably gonna sell it one day. I don't know. I might need to see it again. But man, was I just disappointed. Yeah. Taxi Driver by Martin Scorsese. Marty Scores. This is probably one of my favorite Blu-ray like packages. Like, it's really cool. It's got like this it's got this in it. It's got the famous scene where Scorsese plays a character for a little scene. You ever seen what a Magnum 4 does to a woman's pussy? Not even kidding, that's a line, and it's such a great scene. It's dark and brutal, but it's a great, well, not brutal, but it's a dark scene, but it's kind of funny. Yeah. It also comes with some pictures. I'm not going to show all of them because we got some more stuff to get through. Comes with like a poster. There's Jodie Foster when she was a little baby. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? Yeah. Awesome movie. Probably my favorite character study, or one of them at least. Got great music. Love the saxophone and sometimes how like sudden the music is. It's got an excellent sense of personality and atmosphere, with one of the most satisfying endings. Awesome movie. Yeah. There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson. One of my friend's favorite movie, probably his favorite movie. I don't know. He keeps flip-flopping, saying one thing or this or Clockwork Orange. I find it kind of funny how much he flip-flops on it. Yeah, another case of just an amazing character study. Incredibly entertaining. Daniel Day-Lewis does his best job. It's got I love the cover. Great poster. Now, there's actually a bit of a story, and if my sister's listening, she's probably laughing her ass off right now. I got it for Christmas from my sister. But she also bought the DVD for Jack and Jill by Adam Sandler, with Adam Sandler. And she wants me to watch it and review it, which I have not done. But I promise I'll do it. I'm going to watch it and review it eventually, but I refuse to watch it without my friends. I refuse. I will not watch it without my friend or friends or without the boys. I refuse to watch it without them because I can't do it alone. I can't do that alone. So I'll watch it and review it once the boys get their heads out of their asses and watch it with me. Though, I kind of fucked up when I showed them Sleepwalkers. Sorry, boys, that's on me. I'll make up for it. But please, sit through shit with me one more time. I promise. Sister, if you're watching this, I promise, I'll watch and review it eventually. I need someone to watch it with me. That's all. Anyway, there'll be blood. Awesome. Great cinematography, great music, all that. Amazing. Waves by Trey Edward Schultz. One of the best movies from 2018. One of the most overlooked movies from 2018. This movie's getting a lot of shit. It's gotten a lot of shit from the people in the cinephile, in like the film school community. I find that the people who love it are like pretentious David Lynch praising film school people, and I don't get it. And I'm not using that as an insult. I just think the hate that this movie gets is kind of unjustified almost. Nothing against David Lynch, really, nothing against David Lynch. Very amazing camera work. It's got a killer soundtrack. It's a great story about innocence, loss of innocence, and coming together. Yeah, it's a great quote. Epic family drama, bursting with life. Yeah, couldn't have really said it better myself. Two amazing powerhouse performances by Sterling K. Brown and Taylor Russell. They both hit it way out of the park. Yeah. Whiplash by Damien Chazelle. My God, what a fucking joyride this movie is. J.K. Simmons calling, oh my God, what can I say that doesn't make me look like a total asshole? There are like 0 lines that I can say that are an example of how entertaining J.K. Simmons is in this movie that wouldn't get me like a bunch of weird looks. Amazing music. Just great writing. One of the best third acts I have ever seen ever. I don't really have much to say except check it out. I had a conversation with a friend who saw it recently, and I'm glad that he saw it. And he said he really loved it. Yep. It's definitely better than La La Land and First Man, both of which were directed by the same guy. Yep. The White Ribbon by Michael Haneke, or Michael Haneke, however you want to pronounce his name. I've heard it both ways. Very dark movie. It's a story about children, or just a town, on the eve of World War I. Bunch of weird, strange, somewhat brutal incidents start occurring, and everyone's just kind of wondering what the hell's going on. It doesn't give everyone straight up... It's not like one of those movies that straight up explains everything and holds your hand. It definitely leaves some things unexplained, which is great. Fantastic story. The child actors are amazing. I heard the guy reviewed like over 1,000 child actors or something. Maybe I'm maybe I haven't actually looked up the number. I've only like seen videos talking about it. I think it's over 1,000. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. You can also look it up yourself. Yeah. Also, great cinematography. The use of black and white is awesome. There's so many amazing shots in this movie. Yeah. Just a great friggin' movie. It's not my favorite Hanukkah movie. I don't own my favorite Hanukkah movie yet, though it's in the mail, but it isn't supposed to be here till late August. So that sucks. And that movie is Cache. Yeah. Yee Yee, or Yai Yai, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It translates out to a 1 and a 2, if that would focus. There you go. What a brutally genuine and honest movie. There's a great tagline to it. Begins with a wedding, ends with a funeral. It's basically a movie that that takes place in a middle-class Taiwanese family life over the course of 1 year, something happens, and basically the movie focuses on three of the members mostly. The little boy, his big sister, and the father. And they're all great, all amazing performances, very well shot, some amazing music. I think the segment with the father is the best. I mean, they're not like split into parts, but like there's some like little 20-minute segments where one gets the focus without cutting it back to any of the other characters, I believe. I've only seen it once. Cannot wait to see it again. And my favorite is probably the father's, because I just remember lying in bed. I was watching it on my laptop and or my computer, and I just remember breaking. It made me cry because I felt so attached to the father. I think it was a case of me like seeing a part of my father in the main character, me in the father of this movie. I don't know what it was. I may need to watch it again, but I just remember seeing it and just being like, oh man, fuck. Here come the tears. Very, very, very heartfelt, emotional movie. It's also kind of sad. It will most likely make you cry, but it's not like a depressing movie. It's just sad. It's life. That's what it is. And the father's character goes through something that just, I think, that like you understand him as a person, you don't see him as a father. You see him as a man with goals and motivations and like with wants and needs. And I think that's what broke me, because I think I was finally able to. I think I had like a moment where I saw my father in the movie, and I was just like, oh god, I'm gonna start crying now. And I did start crying. I had to stop the movie for like a solid 5 minutes. I wasn't like ugly like screaming crying, but tears were definitely coming. Came to the point where it was hard to see. Yeah. Alright, last movie. Zodiac by David Fincher. My favorite David Fincher movie. A great crime story with fantastic performances from Robert Downey Jr., Jake Gyllenhaal, and Mark Ruffalo. I find it hilarious that they're all part of the Marvel Universe now. And, shit. And, what I loved about this movie was just the story. It's a great character study into the people trying to find the Zodiac Killer. Don't go into this movie expecting a serial killer manhunt movie like one of those, like Seven. But go in expecting more of a character study. It's more about the people behind the hunt, people who gave up who basically dedicated parts of their careers and gave up parts of their life trying to find him. It's a very dark story. But despite being like 2 hours and 40 minutes, it was never boring. I never felt bored. Just never bored. Sorry, hiccups. Never boring. Ever, ever, ever. I don't have much else to say, except check it out. I think it's on Netflix right now. Yeah. Alright. That's it. That's all the Blu-rays I own. I don't really have much of an outro to this. Actually, yes, I do. The next big project I'll be working on is a list video. I do not know what list yet. I was either going to do the 2019 list or the 2016 list. I'll have to think about it for a little while. I might do the 2019 list first, because I already have it done. I have not finished watching all the 2016 movies yet that I have to watch. So I might just do the 2019 list first. Don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, the next project will be either one of those. Don't know. Until then, I'll just keep watching movies, reviewing some on the side. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Because I don't really have much to do. I mean, the world is in a current state of just unknowing. And that's a little weird. But it is what it is. Alright, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry if this video was incredibly long, but, you know, it's all the stuff. See you guys later. Don't have much to say. Next project will be a list video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all whenever the next time is. See ya.